Yes, the Orvilles, Alara and Lamaar, had a secret off-screen romance. While the Orville hinted at an off-screen relationship between Alara Kitan and John Lamaar, the franchise confirmed their connection elsewhere. This over on Screen Rant about the Orville, which I still have to watch season 3. I loved the first 2 seasons. Big shout out to PJ over at Orville Nation. I haven't connected with him in a while, and great guy, great channel, really brings people together, a lot of fun, and just good vibes over there. I've met a lot of great people through that channel, and it's a fun show. It's a love letter to Star Trek, but for people like me who were casuals at Star Trek, this is it's very enjoyable. But I've actually met John Lamaar through streams over on Orville Nation. I got to stream with him for a little while. Very cool guy, Jay Lee is. Yeah, super fun, energetic, just great personality, really fun to talk to. So here we go. Let's see, in this Halston Sage that played Alara Kitan, I loved her in that role in the show, and I really liked her on Prodigal Son, which was another really good show that got canceled after, 1 season? Yeah, that was a shame. That was a shame because it was a good show. While most of the Orville's crew time is spent dealing with major threats and exploring new worlds, Union officers still find time for romantic misadventures. From Ed and Kelly's Will They Won't They to Claire and Yaphet's Retepsian influenced hookup. The course of true love never did run smooth. However, nowhere is that more true than between Chief of Security Alara Kitan and Chief Engineer John Lamaar.
True love is the greatest thing in the world.
A super strong Zalion, portrayed on TV by Halston Sage, as I referenced earlier. Alara is a fan-favorite Orville crew member who sadly had to leave the ship when her body began to have an adverse reaction to spending time outside Zalia's intense gravity. Alara's time on the ship was marked by strong bonds with friends and a number of failed romances, which became fodder for crewmate gossip. Jay Lee's human officer, John Lamaar, likewise gives the franchise much of its relationship drama, most notably due to a relationship with Alara's replacement, Tala Kayali, whose enhanced strength posed major problems in her physical relationship with the genius engineer. However, before John and Tala got together, Lamaar had an only briefly alluded to relationship with Alara. This took place in the alternate timeline created by Commander Kelly Grayson's younger self, where the Kalons' attack on Earth was successful. Those fucking Kalons. Ugh. Fans actually got a hint at this in the Orville Season 2, Episode 14, The Road Not Taken, when a brief reunion between the two sees Alara imply that John let her down in this version of events, sarcastically stating, "You have to be able to count on someone." However, the Orville Digressions, a comic tie-in from David A. Goodman and David Cabeza, makes the nature of their romance explicit by showing the early days of the new timeline. And here's the comic panel right here. I can't do this in her voice, but she says, "How much you gonna miss me?" "A lot. We've been dancing around this since we met." "You sure you want to right now? Right before you leave?" "Yes," she says. I feel weird reading it in a different voice. I don't know. It just feels weird, like reading a comic panel out loud and like trying to I don't know, other than like the male characters, like it just feels weird trying to read a female character, you know. In this look at the Orville's alternate timeline, I'm going to write a book and it's going to be like the opposite of what was that stupid show the FX did with all the men were gone. Was it Y? It was Y, The Last Man, that got canceled after like 7 episodes. I'm going to write a book. It's going to be like X, The Last Woman. I don't know. In this look at the Orville's alternate timeline without Ed Mercer as captain, there are many differences, but one of the most fascinating is the romantic relationship between Alara and John. When Alara's strength begins to fade, she decides she has to leave the ship, resulting in a kiss between her and Lamaar after the two discuss their attraction, then begin a relationship which ends before Alara actually leaves for Zelia. I don't know. With Lamaar showing his irritation at Isaac for bringing it up later. While the comic prequel doesn't add many more details to the implications of the show, it does directly confirm and depict the implied relationship between Alara and John. Sadly, it doesn't clear up why Alara is so irritated at John when they meet later, though it's likely their physical relationship would have hit the same roadblocks as Lamaar's relationship with Tala. And there's the panel with them kissing. The art is actually pretty good, like honestly. The characters look good.
They look good.
One of the biggest takeaways from this interaction is that with the timeline only splitting on Kelly's decision not to go on a second date with Ed, it's likely that Alara and John shared a similar unspoken attraction in the main timeline, albeit one they didn't act on. It's also interesting that John's most significant romance in the main timeline is someone who shares so many of Alara's traits, with Tala being from the same society, which generally avoids Union service, fulfilling the same role on the ship, and possessing the same dangerous super strength. I don't know, I think it'd be cool to date a chick with super strength, I'm not going to lie. With the door open for Alara Kitan to return to the Orville in the future. Indeed, actress Halston Sage continues to make cameo appearances in important episodes. There's still a chance she and John Lamaar could find love at some point in the main timeline in the future. Until then, however, fans of the Orville will have to make do with the fact that they weren't imagining the vibe between the two in the show's alternate timeline episode, and they indeed shared a tragic romance that wasn't depicted on screen.
Tragic.
Hey, it's written by Bob Wood.
You got wood.
Oh. So there you have it. They actually built upon that one-off scene on the, I think that was the season 2 finale, episode 14. I can't remember if it was 14 or 15 episodes long. But the Orville's a great show. I highly recommend it. I need to watch season 3. The wife and I are going to watch it. She's almost done with the second season that we've kind of been rewatching together because I haven't watched the episodes in almost, I want to say, a year since I finished it. And yeah, I enjoy it. I was so sad to see Halston Sage go because I really liked her character and I like her as an actress. But Tala, we didn't really lose that much with her. She was cool. I liked her. And like speaking to that, you know, it's it's kind of like they wanted to write the new the replacement for Alara with, you know, someone like her, and then, you know, kind of project that implied or, you know, underlying romance with her onto her replacement, like the article said. And it begs the question why they didn't do it in the first place, but it might not have fit in with what they were going for and what they were doing with those characters, especially with Halston Sage leaving, coming back for the cameos. I'd like to see her come back to the show. I really would. Let's say they do something and, you know, they can come up with some kind of MacGuffin to where it doesn't. I don't want a MacGuffin. I want it to be like well developed, considering they have what Kalen's. I think Isaac is in season 3 still, and he's a baby face again. I'm not sure, or if they're still fighting with the Kalons. I haven't seen any of season 3, so I imagine they're probably fighting with the Kalons. But yeah, so that's it. That's the romance implied between Alara and John Lamaar. And again, like I said, he'll probably never see it, but big shout out to Jay Lee, dude. You're awesome. Yeah, guy was cool as hell, and I enjoyed talking to him, getting to do impressions for him. And I really like him on the show. So yeah, I need to watch season 3 of the Orville. What do you think? Are you a fan of the Orville? Do you really see this as the love letter to Star Trek that it was intended to be? I know Seth MacFarlane's political views really turn a lot of people off. But it's part of being able to separate art from the artist. And in some cases, I'm willing to do that. I know I shouldn't, but I do for things that I really like this show, The Orville. I love The Orville. It's progressive without being preachy, and I appreciate that because it's not like underlying like sinister progression. You know, that's the caveat to it. At least that's how I interpret it. So leave me your thoughts in the comments below. If I've earned it, please subscribe to the channel. And do all the YouTube things, not just for me, for your other favorite YouTubers as well. We greatly appreciate it because the algorithms, the deck is stacked against us. Yeah, you can join as a channel member. Kazooian's $2.99, Harvey Wakuian's $4.99. Go to the main page, check out all the perks there. It's more than I can spew out right now when you're trying to get out of here at the end of this video. I'm Tepo Kuian of the Place to Be Reviews. I've been here with all these. If I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and I'll catch you on the next one.
It's better to burn out than to fade away.
I could do this all.
This doesn't bode well.
You're lying. I never hit you. You are tearing me apart, Lisa.
Influx.